Prosperity and abundance to everyone tuning in. I am Mrs.Melanin Reigns, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be back with you all. So I did promise an upload about Roe versus Wade, and I am following through, which is a big deal because you guys know, like I said, I am trying to break through the lack of consistency, but I cannot promise anything robotic outside of just going with what I am led to say or speak on. And so with Roe versus Wade, I really wanted to speak on it because I myself highlight so many different perspectives as I have grown. And so maybe it will just help, or we can dialogue about it. I am open to respectful dialogue, and like I said, I have quite an elaborate perspective, so I understand. And one of the main things I want to say is, like I said, when it comes to me, I remember just being real tight in that perspective of abortion is wrong across the board. And honestly, I can say I wasn't as educated as I thought I was. And it's really learning more about femicide in general, Black femicide more specifically, learning about the ins and outs of how our brains are wired as men and women, and how the society that we're in, which is primarily dysfunctional across the globe, that doesn't mean everywhere, but primarily, learning all of those ins and outs, learning, researching, doing the real researching about things like sexual assault, abuse against children, just all of these different dynamics shifted my perspective for several different reasons, For myself personally, I am someone who, on my spirit, what was placed on my spirit before I ever had any of this knowledge, before I ever even considered having a child, for some reason, I just know myself. I know that something like an abortion would deteriorate my mind. I know how I react to things. And from what I can control, because remember now, not every circumstance is within a woman's control. And this is shown in society. This isn't just you can manifest this protection. It's not like that. Don't get me wrong. I have a understanding, but in the real world, where we're dealing with regular everyday people, regardless of where you stand when it comes to religion, enlightenment, pro-blackness, right-wing, left-wing, regardless of where you stand, one of the things I can say for myself and just for us in general, we always, not always, sometimes we can fall into judging everything from our perspective, and sometimes our perspective is limited. And when I say perspective, not everybody's perspective is elaborate. A lot of people's perspective only resides with what is going on with them, or what's going on with them and the people around them. So that's one of the things that people have to understand. A lot of the stuff I was seeing, especially when it comes to men, I'm not surprised, I'm not gonna lie to you. They don't have our experience. And even when they can tap into it on an intellectual level, a lot of times the empathy is lacking. But women, a lot of times I see women, we have this nature of always wanting to appear better than the next woman in some type of way. And so a lot of the women I seen speaking on this it just came from either elitist mindset or a religious mindset, or even the people who are for it, it's just like, I believe it's kind of an extremist mindset. But like I said, with all of this, at some point I have resided in quite a few of those spaces. Not the extremist perspective, But I did hold firmly to that, just rule abortion out across the board. My first major incident came when a sister was in an abusive relationship. And like I said, limited perspective, and just in my, I'm on my pro-Black journey, and we're pro-life, and all, the history of Margaret Sanger. I get all that. But that's where I was coming from at that time. Long story short, I lost a friend. I lost a good friend. Just having a limited perspective. I had another sister come to me not too long after that, and she was being threatened. They were both in I can't remember if it was military, Navy, or what, but she was being threatened. If she did not abort the baby, he was threatening to kill her. And I seen that situation spiral out of control, but I used to just hold fast to what I knew, the imprint of what an abortion could do to a woman, and it does have a mental impact. And that's one of the things that I want us to consider. I want us to be able to consider that, look, where you're coming from, you may not be for it, you may not stand for it in your life, but also for those who do stand for it, or whatever your reasoning is, you need to understand that we still have to discuss the impact of what it's doing to the mental health of women. And we all need to consider that across the globe. We're just talking about Roe versus Wade in America, right? But across the globe, there is a very deviant, a sexual deviant, like slavery that women and children are posed under. Women are also perpetrators of this. I do not want to ever underestimate this, but I always encourage people to go and look at the numbers. Every single one of the perpetrators need to be dealt with, ideally. We still need to look at the numbers to see how men are blowing women out of the water with a murderous spirit and a sexual deviant spirit. And the climate we're seeing in the shift in women has a lot to do with the suppression, the abuse, and a lot of things from the previous cycle that we're coming out of. So all in all, what I've been really advocating for as women is to come out of male idolatry. It doesn't matter if you're single, you're married, whatever the case may be. Come out of male idolatry. It has been one of the most dangerous weapons. And so it's bigger than Roe versus Wade, right? And I don't have any particular stance over what a woman wants to choose. I don't have any particular stance over what God's say-so is in that matter. Because when I learned about how neglectful and how wicked some adults are to children, as I research these numbers, as I look in history to see some of the things I am seeing, I don't agree with any form of a murderous spirit. But I don't have any hesitation in saying that let it be the woman say so. Let it be the woman say so. Women, we are not perfect. Abortion absolutely should not be used as a form of birth control. But even if that is what a woman wants to do, guess what? That's on her. That's on her. Her connection to divine, whatever it is she has going on in her life, that's on her. But like I said, when I consider Black femicide, when I consider domestic violence, when I look at women globally and how domestic violence and murder escalates against pregnant women and women during the postpartum period. I'm sorry. Men have opened the door for this. I don't want to go on and on. Maybe I'll make a future video. But women, you need to come out of male idolatry, because a lot of times your response is you just want applause from men. You don't even have space to know yourself and hone your relationship with the Most High. Women, I look around, the motherhood is not even up to par for those who want to mock other women. I can easily mock other women because it's not something I've done personally. But as I look out into the world right now, and as I am being led by the Most High, I'm seeing some things here that have shifted my mind, absolutely. If you're an able-bodied woman, it is your duty. I'm not talking about the offenses that are the war that we're under. I know it can be tough. I know some circumstances are out of our control. I know. But outside of that, the ones that are, it's been time to make wise decisions. The stuff, if you do the research for yourself, something is not right. When I even try to advocate or just open women's eyes to certain things, both these women who I perceive as, some of them are naive, some of them are full-blown narcissists. Some of them are the full-blown narcissists that touch these little boys when they're growing up and they're and they're a part of this vicious, nasty cycle. And you have the men. Some of them are naive themselves. They don't even understand how this stuff impacts them. Holding on to wicked traditions. Male idolatry in itself. Because it's not the divine way of things. Just consider. Me, you, everyone, we need to open our eyes. Because there was a time where I was naive, as I said. So for those who may not know, or it's not to say you don't let nobody shake what you stand on. But you opened your eyes and you asked, why is this happening? What is going on? All I see people talking about is women advocating for murdering babies. That is not what people are saying. Some, don't get me wrong, like I said, some people are extremists and they've gone too far. That doesn't surprise me after abuse and suppression in the way that it was. But like I said, you tune into Black Femicide and you look at those pages and you see how many men are murdering their wives, their pregnant spouses, their ex-wives and their children. You see how it is escalating. The numbers before were unacceptable. The numbers now are unacceptable as well. And I still stand on what I stand on. The climate for us as women, if you are not married, and I only believe in healthy marriages only, both women and men, we have the ability to strive for better and break through the things that we're coming through. I don't care about anything that does not include empathy, integrity, the Most High, and a family foundation that is solid. That's me personally. Because too much abuse is going on and how can you, it's hypocritical to advocate for children that it seems like almost nobody wants to take care of. We're growing up here, we're expressing ourselves, we're being shut down. The rebelliousness that you see in the youth, where do you think it comes from? Neglect. Strategically grooming parents to formulate insecure attachments in their children, whether it be through the rat race, things like inflation right now, things through just not having proper childcare. This is not a world that cares for children. I'm not going to be gaslit. I'm not even getting to the history. I'm not even getting to the underwire of why I know it is happening. I'm not getting into that. I don't want to worry about that. I want to worry about each and every one of us who has the integrity to truly take care of the children in their lives holistically. Mothers and fathers are fronting left and right. That's where I'm coming from with it. You know? Your connection with the Most High is your connection with the Most High, or lack thereof, whatever it may be. But I don't go based upon any boxes. Religion, spirituality, any of those things. I go based upon that direct ruach, that direct leadership, the discernment, the living word. Okay? That's where I stand with that. That's where I stand with that. People learn it's okay to think more elaborately. It's okay to think more elaborately, especially when you actually care for your community, because a lot of people are going off of intellect. But where is the empathy?